and hired by our governor's administration. You know, our governor has been known to say one thing and then do another, and you know, I mean, the man has been caught in one lie after another while he's been in office. You know, he'd come out and you know, it was reported that Rendell had terminated the contract, saying it violated citizens' rights for lawful constitutional protests. That was reported that he terminated the contract, and then more information comes out. No, the contract really hadn't been terminated. They just weren't going to renew at the end of October, and this company was being paid the full amount of money that they were initially contracted for, even after turning out all of this bogus information and listing law-abiding citizens who were actually protesting and maybe not allowed in other parts of the world to do what we've been doing, but fully under our, you know, the God-given rights that are affirmed in our Constitution, that we have a right to do what these folks were doing, and then being listed as being you know, potential terrorist threats.
And to be clear, we're talking to State Representative Daryl Metcalfe of Pennsylvania. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but reading these reports, only a fraction of their activities has been leaked. And so we better believe if one state representative and mainline Second Amendment groups and mainline Tea Party, you know, folks that want a balanced budget are being spied on and listed as potential terrorists and threats to infrastructure, this is going to be a lot more widespread.
Well, that's exactly right. I think, you know, we've just seen the tip of the iceberg, as that old cliche goes. But this, I mean, I think every American has to really see a red flag go up when they hear of this type of activity taken by an administration, be it Pennsylvania or the you know, Rendell's administration, the Pennsylvania government, or the Obama administration at the federal level. That when you're going to start having taxpayer resources, taxpayer-paid public servants spying, surveilling, looking into the activities of law-abiding citizens. I mean, there's enough criminals on the streets that they should be utilizing every resource we have to go after those, you know, MS-13 gangs and the drug cartels and the gangs that are committing violent acts against our citizens daily in every city in this country. That they turn around and use those resources, those limited resources, to target law-abiding citizens in the process of violating our rights. I mean, it just really reeks of that tyrannical type of oppression, that tyrannical type of intimidation that you had mentioned from Eastern European countries before the Cold War came to an end. So
but even in Eastern European countries, you know, if foreigners were brought in to be the secret police, right, no one would put up with this. And I've seen in press reports dealing with the Total Information Awareness Network and a lot of this spying and data mining, it is foreign companies that are running it and doing it. And that came out in the FEMA NLE-09 drills that intelligence agencies from 14 countries were helping run drills against, quote, domestic terrorists. And then you find out that domestic terrorists are people that say, hey, my taxes are too high, or hey, you're not getting my guns, or hey, I don't want government-run health care, or hey, I don't agree with the FCC diversity czar praising censorship like Hugo Chavez does. I mean, I think we need to really recognize that the government's having to contract with foreign groups because what they're doing is criminal, and they've got to keep this covered up. I mean, you can't get much worse than foreign military-connected groups spying on citizens. And then they look at you like you got three heads because you're demanding to find out the full extent. How do we find out exactly how bad this really was?
That's exactly right. I think, you know, the individuals involved in this and some of the things that you just listed, whether it's Ed Rendell and Obama's disdain and total disrespect for the constitutional rights of law-abiding American citizens to actually execute their right to bear arms, their right to free speech. I mean, these people are globalists in their thinking. I mean, they look at themselves as world citizens, not American citizens.
They're authoritarian tyrants.
Well, that's and they embrace these socialist leftist policies of the Eastern Bloc nations that when I was in the military we were prepared to go to war against when we went during the Cold War. You know, the Warsaw Pact nations. I mean, that type of tyrannical governance is what these types of people Ed Rendell, I mean, his wife, I wrote an article on his wife, being interviewed. She's a federal judge, talking about having a benevolent dictator would be a good thing, because then we could get some of these healthcare issues and gun control
we've heard this from hundreds of Obama supporters.
Right.
I mean, Woody Allen. I mean, the list goes on and on. They're just constantly saying we need a dictator.
Well, that's where they come from, and that's why they're not slow to embrace hiring somebody like this Israeli connected company that was working with our State Department here to surveil and issue these types of reports to spy on American citizens, law-abiding citizens. I think our activities here now, as far as trying to push for an answer, is to continue to press now the PEMA secretary, who's still in place, that hasn't resigned yet, and it sounds like he was, joined at the hip with the...
I'll tell you what, stay there, sir, a little bit longer. We appreciate your time. We'll give out the websites on the other side about where this investigation's going, how my listeners and others, and especially in Pennsylvania, can really get a true investigation going to break open this barrel of snakes. We'll be right back.
Are the threats of a biological attack to the U.S. real?
If biological warfare is real, what should I know before it happens to protect my family?
The answers to the unthinkable are inside a new book by Christian patriot and author Sam Adams, Pale Horse, How to Survive a Chemical or Biological Attack. Inside what's been called the must-have manual for surviving the attack and mass panic that will follow, you will learn what the actual biological and chemical threats are, how to respond to events that are almost certain to happen, what the government's response is likely to be, how some will take advantage of the chaos, and exactly how you should prepare. To get Pale Horse, How to Survive a Chemical or Biological Attack in hard copy or immediate digital download, go to biowarsurvival.com or call 877-327-0365. That's 1-877-327-0365. Or buy online at biowarsurvival.com. That's BIOWAR survival.com.
This is not your father's BioWar Survival Handbook.
You may be arrested and or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cannons, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Great news for pure water lovers. The Big Berkey water filter is available once again. And stay tuned to hear about a valuable offer from Berkey Water Filters. Choosing the right water purification system can be a daunting task. That's why BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com shows you a cost and benefit comparison. The Berkey water filter is economical with a single set of filters that can last for 5 to 10 years. Berkey water filters are healthy and far superior to other filtration systems. They remove harmful pathogenic bacteria, cysts, parasites, and unhealthy chemicals like chlorine. And Berkey water filter systems are powerful enough to purify both treated and untreated water, like stagnant ponds. Get the gold standard in water filters at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. For a limited time, choose a free shower filter, fluoride filters, or 2 Sport Berkey bottles with every system purchase. And GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Details at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
All right, we're going to move fast. He'll be with us 5 minutes in the next hour. He may have to leave early, though, because they're about to go back into session and voting there in Pennsylvania. Representative Daryl Metcalfe. Sir, look, there's a lot of other angles to this, and one big one is defamation. To have them secretly demonizing you, demonizing an elected representative, mainline Second Amendment groups, mainline anti-war groups, mainline groups that don't want gas pipelines in their backyard, whether you agree with them or not, they've got their right. And what about a defamation angle, a civil operation if the legislature blocks a true investigation? I mean, this is a big deal. We've got to stop these foreign secret police.
I agree with you, and I know there's citizens questions that are looking at their various options that they can pursue to try and investigate this further, get more information, and really kind of bring the hammer down on this type of activity that has happened and stop it from happening in the future. From the legislative side, I've talked to our staff with our Veterans Affairs Emergency Preparedness Committee and have asked for our chief of staff there, from our director of that committee, for his help in pursuing this further, with trying to work with the Senate to really try and ferret out the answers to the various questions that are out there, because there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of information that we still need to find out what really happened there. I mean, the only way to prevent something like this from happening in the future is to fully understand what just happened and how it happened, and to prevent any future governor or administration or rogue administration from embracing this type of activity that all really reeks of tyrannical activity that people have ultimately died under in foreign countries in the past, and we don't want to see that happen in America. We have God-given rights that are affirmed in our Constitution, and we need to stand up for those, and that's what we're going to be doing.
Well, this is an attack on the heart of the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, and listing you guys as potential terrorists and spying on citizens. And I noticed the flip-flopping that you mentioned. First, the governor apologized and said, oh, this is terrible. Now the governor's in the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review, along with the disgraced former head of state Homeland Security, blaming you guys, saying he stepped down because of the distraction you guys pose, criticizing them. See, that might let the terrorist, which I guess is you, get them.
Well, see, I think Rendell knew about this. I think Rendell approved of it. I think if he didn't approve of it, and if he didn't know of it, then he should have fired Powers. I think that this was just, Powers is a scapegoat for this administration's, continued abuse and disregard for the law and the Constitution. The governor's had a track record of that for the last 7 years. We're finally going to get rid of him because of term limits in Pennsylvania at the end of this. But our governor, I think, should have had an investigation launched against him, like was against Blagojevich and out there in the Chicago area. I mean, the governor of Pennsylvania is known for his shady politics coming out of the city of Philadelphia, and this is just another extension of it.
So where do you go from here? How do we, listeners all over the country and in Pennsylvania, put pressure on the state government or even the federal government to crack open this can of worms?
Well, we're going to be continuing to file the right to know request that we've been working on over the last week with our legal staff. We're going to be sending another letter over to the head of PEMA, who gave testimony last Monday, to ask some of the same questions that we asked of the director here in the Pennsylvania State Homeland Security. We're going to press whoever his replacement is to give us the information that we're looking for. There's still questions about the bulletins that were released. Have they, where are they publicly still noticed right now? Where are they posted to try and have that information redacted, to ensure that anybody who has been put on those that shouldn't have been is taken off of those, so that they're not hanging out there in cyberland without a correction. So there's a lot of work to be done, and we're going to continue to do that here. I'd encourage all of your listeners in Pennsylvania to contact their state legislators, both state senators and state representatives, and demand a full accounting of what has happened here, and demand action be taken against those who have violated the rights of Pennsylvanians and other American citizens that may have been here in Pennsylvania and subject to this type of surveillance.
All right, I've got two final key questions for you. We're going to be back in 70 seconds. repmetcalfe.com is the website. We'll be right back with the second hour in 70 seconds.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com. Check them out today.
Waging war on corruption.